Hi there, thank you for coming in today. My name is Juliette and I work here at First Time Outings. And my job here today is to help take you through some of the issues and pitfalls that can come up on a first time outing, to give you an idea of how you can help to minimize any of the risks and certainly some of the fears that you may be having about your first time. So I understand you're thinking of going out dressed for the first time, is that right? Okay, well, that's fantastic news. It's a really great step. It's something that I think a lot of people will secretly hope to do from within their own homes. It's it's one of those steps that when you get to take it, it can be an absolute relief. It can be something that's quite amazing, a feeling like none you've ever had before. I can certainly say that from my own experience. It's a wonderful feeling going out for the first time and feeling like you are putting your best foot forward. And I think that's it's commendable. I think the fact that you're here today, that you're looking to take that step, is a wonderful thing. So my job really is to help you to understand how you can do that. A little bit of experience maybe from what I've done in my own life, but really just to understand what works well for you and how you want to try and tackle this, because it's your journey and it's what you want to do that's really important. Okay? So we're going to talk about a couple of things, namely what you're going to wear, the makeup, venue, any issues around transportation or around accommodation, okay? And we also want to have a think about just small things, little convenience things that people don't, or let's say if you forget about them, they can really add to the stress level for a night out. And the idea for this is a lot of people will make plans, and then they won't go through with the final outing. And I can say for a fact that I've done that myself. I've absolutely done that myself. And it's amazing what kind of things can put you off. I will say, I've got ready to go out on a night out and then not done it purely because I didn't have cash. Didn't have cash in my purse, and then I didn't go out. I didn't want to go to a cash machine. It wasn't part of my plan, and so I bottled it on that occasion. And it's small things like this that we want to try and help you to avoid, so that you're in the best position to enjoy your night out. Okay. So, as you know, we don't do makeovers and dressing services here. Okay. This is purely advice and information. So we don't have any particular preference towards a service or anyone that we would, let's say, guide you towards. But firstly, are you planning to do your own makeup, or are you planning to take advantage of a makeover service? Okay, it's entirely up to you. I think a makeover service is it certainly can take some of the pressure out of a first night out. If it's something that you're looking to, let's say, look your best, having to get all your makeup ready, having to prepare, it certainly can take people a long time when they're starting out. And I think I would definitely recommend a makeover service if that's what you want to do. If you do feel, let's say, confident enough or brave enough to go out wearing your own makeup for the first evening, that's what I did. I went out for the first time before I ever had a makeover. I think in hindsight, I probably would have done it slightly differently, but whatever works for you. And if you're looking for a makeover, I think that's a great idea. And it's something that we should talk about in a bit more depth. So have you given any thought to a particular artist? Is there anyone you've used in the past, or anyone you've been interested in, you've seen photos? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. On the south coast? Yeah, yeah, I know that one. Okay. Yes, yeah, London. There are obviously quite a few people in London who you can go to see. Um, I would, I would certainly say that those two, I've heard very, very good things about. I've been to one of them myself. So of those two, I would definitely recommend them. Yeah, they have a very, very good reputation. Absolutely. Yeah, I would say so. So I'm familiar with both of the studios. Like I said, I haven't been to Boudoir, but I have been to Boys Will Be Girls. So I know of the two, and I would definitely recommend them. Yeah, I have friends who've been to both. and slightly different styles, but we've got a lot to recommend them for sure. Okay. And obviously they're based in London, so where were you thinking of going for the night out? Is it something that's escorted? Okay. So your idea was to have the makeover and then just travel out. Okay, that's perfect. I do know that both of them will also do escorted trips. So one thing you might want to think about is that if you were to look into that, one of the easiest ways of, let's say, dealing with things in an organised way, and certainly having some accompaniment, is to go from an escorted trip. Now, escorted trips are fantastic because you get a small group of people. You get to sort of share the experience, which is really, really nice. You can go with people who are, let's say, who are certainly going to be your allies on the night, and they will be able to encourage you and help you. And there's nothing like walking as part of a group to help bolster your confidence. I think that's really, really important. Most places will do either events where you will turn up with your own clothes and then you would basically go home from the venue straight away, or other ones that are a bit more expensive where you would go back to the artist's studio to change back at the end of the evening. Obviously that's a little bit more expensive because more travel involved, etc, etc. I'd certainly recommend them. There's a lot to say about these escorted trips. I haven't done one myself, but if it's anything where you're thinking that there's a level of anxiety, and if the, let's say, the cost of an escorted trip is something that you're comfortable with, then I think they make great options. I didn't do them myself. I went out on my own basically. I did my makeup at home, and I selected my clothes, I selected my dress, I selected what I wanted to wear, and I went out on my own. Budgetary reasons had something to do with it, and I think that for some people the cost of an escorted trip may not be, it may not make for the easiest evening, but if you can save up for it, it's certainly one of the best ways of investing early money. Okay. Well, like I said, I recommend either of those, and I think they're both good choices. So, yeah, I would definitely consider that. And in terms of where you wanted to go, where were you thinking? Are you heading more towards London, or are you going out to, one of my favourite places, Pink Panthers, somewhere like that? Okay. Yeah, in terms of venues, there are a few places in London that you can go. Obviously, Soho has a number of different, let's say, trans-friendly locations. Let's say organised nights out in London would include Way Out and Bombshell. These are, let's say, trans-organised nights out, which are run sort of regularly to 1 or 2 times a week. And there'll be a sort of regular crowd at those events. I've been to both. I would say that for a first night out, if you were looking for that first experience of going out, I would certainly recommend heading a little bit further afield to Pink Panthers in Milton Keynes for one of the BNO nights. So BNO nights are on the second Friday of every month. Okay, yeah, perfect, you've heard of them. So BNO is the big night out, and it's a great trans-friendly evening once a month where you'll have what I would say is probably around 30 to 50 trans girls who'll be there on any particular evening. In terms of what I could explain about it, the venue is incredibly safe. There's lots of security there. They do really going sort of above and beyond to make sure that everyone is safe and secure, and you feel like you're able to enjoy your evening. I've had probably less unwanted attention at Pink Panthers than at anywhere else I've ever been to. So as a venue, it is thoroughly worth going to for first night out. I would recommend it wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's. I mean, you can park. There are hotels that are quite local. So if you're wondering about where to stay, there are, as long as you get in early, there are some decent bargains to be had at the various different hotels in the area. Okay, so the first hotel that is probably the most closest, which most people will know, is the Campanile. Campanile is just over the street. It has a bar where some people will meet up before heading over to Pink Panthers in the evening, and that could be quite nice just to let's say you start to chat and introduce yourself to a few people before you even head over. That can be really good. A lot of people prefer to stay a little bit further afield and take a taxi in. So there's a couple of places up near the stadium in Milton Keynes, and I would certainly recommend any of those hotels. There's the Premier Inn is pretty good, and there's also the Hilton, which is up by the stadium. That's a nice one to go along to as well. It's got a really good sort of, let's say, it's very easy to get to. It's got good parking. If you're driving to the venue, it's probably only about 6 or 7 minutes away, so you can get there in a £5 taxi ride. It's nothing more expensive than that from the hotels in Milton Keynes. So I would definitely recommend that. Some people, I think, Campanile is convenient. It's very, very convenient to walk across the road. It can seem somewhat expensive on B&O nights, and I think I'm sort of I've heard a few comments about, let's say, how good the hotel is in general. It really is a question of whether you value your convenience, pure convenience, or whether you value a nice place to stay. I think that really is what it comes down to. Whatever works for you, I think it's fine. Okay. So if you were staying over, if you're going for an escorted trip, then obviously that's not something you're going to have to worry about too much. But if you did want to go on your own, and if you did want to sort of head up there and meet up with a few people, what I would recommend that you do is there's a website which is called Tibi Chicks, and oh great, okay, perfect. So you already remember. As you'll know, on Tibi Chicks there's an events page. One of the easiest things to do is to go to the events page, click on the date, find the next B&O or B&O night you want to go to, and have a little look through whoever's signed up as maybe or definitely attending. In that list, you may find a number of people, such as myself, who are attending Pink Panthers or are planning to attend, either definitely attending or maybe attending for the B&O nights. And one of the, let's say, the simplest thing to do is to just reach out to some of the people on that list. Just send them a message, a nice message through the Chicks mailbox, and contact a few people and see if they are interested in, let's say, meeting up for a quick chat. Okay, a lot of people have plans of their own, so they may have a whole evening plan or something that they want to do, but I found in my experience that a number of people are very happy to spend at least a couple of drinks, getting to know someone and helping someone to, let's say, settle in and feel a bit more comfortable on their first night. Other people are much more happy to, they're much more welcoming. They'll welcome people in, and they certainly will invite people into to their groups and to join them on a night out. There are some wonderful people who will do that, and that can be really, really useful as well. These are let's say, it takes a little bit of courage to reach out to someone online and just ask. Some people will say no, and you have to be prepared to accept that. But if you're lucky, you may find someone that is, say, something of a regular, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. There are also a couple of other people who will who are quite local and may do makeover services as well. That's quite local to Pink Panthers. So instead of having to go into London to a makeover or doing an escorted trip out of London, you can also find some people locally who will provide makeover services and specific nights out at B&O. There's one that you can find very easily through Tibi Chicks, and she is very, very helpful, and she also runs escorted evenings out. So if you go to the events page for most B&Os and you have a little scroll down the list, you'll see that there are at least 1 or 2 people in there who are either offering makeover services in the hotels, so they'll come and do your makeover and nails or something in the hotels, or they are offering to meet at a specific location, perhaps do makeovers, have a few drinks, have something to eat, and then head out to Pink Panthers later. Okay, so definitely have a look at that. It's well worth reaching out to these people. They can provide you with some more, let's say, direct advice on how best to go about arranging an evening. Definitely very supportive. It's what they do, and they are certainly worth reaching out to. Okay, so that sort of makeup and venues, accommodation style things covered. Did you have a particular outfit you were planning to wear, or are you going to be going shopping for something specifically for the night out? Okay. Okay, so you're not sure? I understand. It's to give you an idea, if you're going out to somewhere like Way Out or B&O, what I would say is that when you see, let's say, pictures online, if you look at the galleries of the different events, you'll be able to get a very good idea of the kind of clothes and style that people wear for these kind of evenings. So if you go back to the galleries of, for example, the Pink Panthers website, go and look up the date of a B&O evening, and you'll be able to see a number of different trans girls who are dressed as they would have normally attend a B&O session. That's a very good way to sort of get an idea of how people dress up. Some people go for very glam. Some people who are nice sort of stick thin people have, you know, very figure hugging outfits. Other people will be dressed much more casually. And I think it really is important to remember that it's a welcoming, inclusive evening, and that you should go dressed however you feel most comfortable. Absolutely. So if you have a particular favorite dress or something that you feel, let's say it's the one that you'll gravitate towards, that is your backup dress or your go-to dress, then certainly have that ready, have that available, and yeah, be ready to use it if you can't find anything that you really like in the shops before the day. Yeah, shopping trips can be quite difficult, I know. I do a lot of online shopping myself. I buy quite a lot of stuff through eBay these days, frankly, and I will try and do things on a bit of a budget. I'm quite one for economising on how much I spend. So if that's the situation you're in as well, then absolutely. I would simply spend the next week or two trying out and trying to find things that you really like. But if you do have that outfit and you think at the end of the day, no, I'm just going to go with that, it's safe and that's what I want to wear, it's mostly about comfort. It's about you feeling comfortable in the evening and about you feeling that you can enjoy this evening, this process. 100%. Excellent. Okay. So just a couple of random tips now, okay? I mentioned earlier about cash. Okay. A lot of venues, Pink Panthers is true about this, will charge a fee for each transaction if you pay by card. They do have cash machines on the premises, but they also charge a small fee. So if you do find that you've skipped out on cash, just remember that Pink Panthers does have cash machines, and I don't know, £1.50 or something like that, you can get access to more cash, which is a bit of a godsend, because no one likes driving somewhere and then having to stop in the middle of a town and get out, and you know, it's not really helpful for your first night. But generally I would say make sure you have enough cash with you. Make sure you have your essentials in a bag. Okay, a lot of people will sort of panic about what they're going to do, what happens if something goes wrong. So one of the things that I used to be concerned about when I was driving back was what happens if I get stopped by the police and breathalyzed. I know I'm going to pass the test, but do I want to get out like this? What if my car breaks down? What if what if I'm unable to start my car? What am I going to do? And so for the first few times, I don't do it these days, I'm much more relaxed about things these days, but for the first few times when I was going out, before I even got ready, I had a bag packed which was my change of clothes, a complete change of clothes. I had a couple of packs of the makeup remover wipes. I had also some makeup remover liquid fluids, and I had cotton pads and all sorts of stuff with me to basically make sure that if the worst came to the worst and my car broke down, I could pretty quickly, in 10-20 minutes, get all my makeup off, get changed, and then phone for some assistance. Because at the time I wouldn't have been that confident phoning for assistance dressed, as I am on a night out. So always worthwhile having that. You probably will never ever need it, but if it's in the back of your car, what it means is that if anything goes wrong at all, you've got a sort of escape route. You've got something that you can do, and you don't have to just front out the situation. You'll probably find over time that you're much more relaxed about these things in the future. I don't bother with that anymore, but certainly for the first couple of times, it felt good knowing that I packed for other eventualities. I had enough cash with me, I had my spare clothes with me, I had my makeup that I wanted for touch-ups, etc. Always have that with me. I always pack a hairbrush, because whenever you arrive at a venue, if you're driving on a summer's evening, if you've got the windows down, your hair can get a bit messed up, etc. And it's always good to be able to give your hair a quick brush before you get out and go to the venue. Obviously, if you're in a hotel, you've got plenty of room just to store these things, and you'd be probably bringing a change of clothes with you anyway for journeys home. But if you're driving there in the evening, that's a really, really good thing to have in the car with you, and can be, it can certainly help you relax a little bit and feel like you're prepared for any eventuality. Okay, so I think that's the majority of what we were going to cover off today. Were there any questions that you wanted to ask? Sure. Security is very important. Yeah. So what I would say is that the difference for me is that if you're in London, the chances are that unless you're with an escorted group, in London you're either going to have to walk to a venue, taxi to a venue, rickshaw to a venue, or tube it to a venue. You're going to have to do one of those things. These are all forms of public transport. You're going to be seen. So I think if you're going out to London for the first time, there are enough escorted trips available that I think is well worth it. If you live in London, obviously, and you're happy to go on the tube, and I think London offers a great deal of possibilities and a lot more variety on places you can go. Both straight venues, trans venues, gay venues, there's all sorts of stuff available in London. So really, as you evolve, I think London is what a lot of people who live in the sort of southeast will gravitate towards. But for a first evening, I would definitely recommend a sort of trans-Pacific night. And the reason I chose Pink Punters to go to for the first time was because they had a very, very sort of positive viewpoint on their website, and they also had a sort of a key focus on security and safety. That was really, really good. It was local enough for me to be able to drive to. This was when I had to drive quite a way to get there, but it was local enough to be able to drive to in the evening. And for me, the most important thing about the venue was that in driving there, I could park, get out my car, walk in, pay my money, and I'm there. And I was, you're off the road, and you are, you feel in a sort of safe and secure environment automatically. And that for me was really important in choosing that particular venue for the first night out. I've since done nights out in London, and I've taken the tube, I've walked around and walked home back to hotels and stuff on nights out, and you get used to things. You get much more used to spending your time and to having people call out to you. This will happen. Now, I get called out to a lot in London, especially going home at the end of an evening. Lots of comments, and I think it's something you have to be prepared for. All I can say about Pink Punters is that never happens. So I've never had that moment of being called out to or approached in Pink Panthers in a way that is in any way disconcerting. And yeah, for that reason, I would recommend it. Great. So how are you feeling at the moment? What's your sort of thoughts on potential dates? When might you like to think about going out? Okay, great. I mean, if you can get out as early as October, it's fantastic. Otherwise, yeah, the December B&O is a great evening. Loads of people out for that one, like a big sort of pre-Christmas party. I thoroughly recommend that. It's probably one of the best ones. You'll see more people there than you would certainly on I think any other night of the year. Definitely recommend that one. And do you know anyone? Are you on any websites where you can actually link up with people individually? Okay. Do you use chat rooms or do you just mail and? Okay, perfect. Well, if you can get a couple of people that you can touch base with, like I said, if you see my name in the list, by all means, send me a message. I'm more than happy to meet up with anyone and have a quick drink. I travel on my own there. I don't go as part of a group or anything, so I usually tend to see who I know and have a chat. And if I bump into a group of people who I know, then that's perfect. Otherwise, then I might go on my own for a whole evening. Who knows? But if you see me in the list of people who's attending, let me know. Come up to me, say hi, and yeah, we'll have a good drink. Good stuff. Well, I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I want to say thank you so much for coming out today. I know, like I said, it can be daunting. It can be difficult to talk to someone about these issues. But I really hope this has been useful for you. And what I would like to say is, if you're having any particular concerns in the run-up to a night out, feel free to contact me, 100%. Get in contact with me, let me know what you're thinking. And what I'd also say is that if you are out and you do make it out, I'd love to hear from you. It'd be fantastic to maybe if you've got some pictures or if there's something where you're particularly proud of how the evening went, drop me a line, let me know, and share that with me, because it's wonderful to hear about people who are doing well and who are making those first steps. It's something of a watershed moment in your life, but once you've made it, and if you can have a good positive experience on your first night out, it doesn't happen to everyone, and for some people things happen that are absolutely beyond their control. You can't plan for every eventuality, but what you can do is you can hopefully leave yourself in the best position to be able to enjoy your evening. And that's the other thing is, as a piece of throwaway advice, try not to expect too much. I think of it like New Year's Eve these days. In my experience, the more you build New Year's Eve up to be this great evening, the worse it turns out to be. My best ever New Year's Eves have been ones where I had no expectations and we went out and things just fell into place. And you can prep your night, you can prep how you think your night's going to go, and you can limit your risks and limit your potential exposure to risk. But ultimately, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I think it's very good to have a reasonable expectation of what a night is going to be like, because I think a lot of people can, they can really pin a lot of their hopes on the outcome of one evening, and if it doesn't go as you hope, that can be a tremendous disappointment. You know you better than I do, so only you can tell me if that's something you think you can do. Some people will just get swept away by the moment, and they can't help the nervous excitement. But if it's a little piece of advice I would offer to anyone, try and lower your expectations, and then you've got a good chance of being pleasantly surprised. Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best. I hope it's a fantastic evening. I really do hope that this is something that that it's a transformative moment in your life. I hope it gives you more confidence for the future. And I applaud you for taking this step and for thinking about doing this. Like I said, if you do find, decided that you bottle out of it a couple of times, don't worry. Learn from what you planned in the first time. Add to it for the next time, and eventually you'll make it out there. And that was certainly the case with me. I think I planned 2 evenings that I cancelled on the day before I eventually made it out one night. But I looked on them as prep work. They were practice sessions. And from that first night, I had some pretty big disappointments on that night, but I've never looked back. And I hope you at least have that momentum to move forward from this. Well, look, it's lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a great session. I really wish you all the best, and I hope to hear from you in the future, and I hope to hear some fantastic success stories about how you're going out there. Great stuff. Lovely to meet you too, and look forward to talking to you again. Take care. Bye bye.